come. Suvendo, please.
Sir, we heard of your press conference yesterday. Now, do you have any plans to take care of the paid media?
You see, the day you come to power, they will become your unpaid media. What is necessary is that this time in power you should have an independent television channel where the truth is, in America they have something called public broadcasting system. Like that, we should have something where people can fiercely express independent views. But we missed this chance. Now today, yes, there is a massive attempt by the ruling party to corrupt our media and make them black. Yesterday I spoke in the party office on the economic policy of the BJP, like that could be part of it, which is being under consideration of the BJP. And all television cameras, everybody was there, but not a line appeared because the control through terror, through income tax, and so on, and partly due to payment. Look at what they are doing to Bengal DK Singh, this Indian Express. First time they said he have moved 2 brigades of the Indian Army, which turned out to be a lie. This is also a lie. And so that is all there. But the day you come to power, only thing you have to take care is these people don't come and stick to you. So that time we'll have to create a ring so that these people who misbehaved with us when we were in the opposition are not beneficiary once again from the ruling party.
Abhishek.
Good evening, sir. Sir, this Muzaffarnagar rights.
Yes.
Sting operation is told Azam Khan is behind.
Yes.
So, what is the BJP strategy for and how will you tackle this fellow?
It's a very sad thing what happened. But again, this easy led to this kind of horrible incident. And it was partly because the state government there played a partisan role. See, I have been in power at a very critical time when the DMK was assisting the LTT to literally create a separate Tamil Nadu. And this matter came to my attention. I told Chandrasekhar that we have to do something drastic. He said, what? I said, dismiss the DMK government under Article 356. So he said, let us have a cabinet meeting. We had a cabinet subcommittee meeting on security where all the officers were against it. They said, if you dismiss the government, rivers of blood will flow and all kinds of problems will happen. So, since I was insistent and Chandrasekhar knew that he became Prime Minister because I and Rajiv Gandhi made a deal. So he was very, cooperative with me. He said, if you can manage yourself, I'll give you all the power, you go and get it done. So I went to Chennai and sat down and I called the DGP and said, we are going to dismiss this government and you have to see that there is no violence. So he said, I'll have to use strength. So I said, use your strength. Then I have to fire. I said, you fire. He said, I'll kill people. So I said, took out a piece of paper and wrote, you are hereby authorized by the government of India to kill up to 5,000 people. And if you want to kill more than 5,000 people, come for fresh authorization. Tomorrow there is a commission inquiry, you say, my minister ordered me to do this. But I said, you do one thing. Tell all police stations to round up the history sheeters and put them in jail. And spread the word that military is coming, BSF is coming, and they have been given authority to shoot, to kill. So, we dismissed the government and all the history sheeters in jail. Word in every police station has spread the word that the military has been given authority to shoot. Nobody inside. They were telling me buses will be burned, even a cycle was not burned. So then I said, where is Karunanidhi? They said he has disappeared. I said, what do you mean disappeared? Find out where he is. Then we found out that he has 3 wives, so how can he disappear? So finally found out where he was. He was hiding in one of the houses with 3 of his wives. I telephoned him, I said, nothing is going to happen to you, you can come out, Vaiko, who talks like this, he called me up, am I going to be arrested? I said, what for? But your brother is going to be arrested because he is Pakka LTT. And we arrested him. Nothing happened. Same way I am telling you, no communal riot can take place. I tried this again when Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated. The Congress took out a procession to kill Tamils in Simapuri and all that areas of Delhi. Because you see, what happens in these riots is commercial interests also get involved. You go to a slum area and burn it, raise it to the ground, drive away the people, then all that land again becomes for sale to fresh squatters. So, all kinds of forces get in. So I said the same thing, that this should not happen. I called up the Commissioner of Police. I said, I don't want this any incident to happen to the Tamils. Do something. He said, sir, I will inform the SHO. I called up the SHO myself. The constable told me, Saab so rahe hain. It was only 10 o'clock when he was already so rahe. No, it was 2 o'clock. It was so rahe. I said, उसको जगाओ. नहीं, हमें ऑर्डर मिला है कि नहीं जगाना. I said, उनको बोलो कि उठना है, नहीं तो तुम्हारी नौकरी कल चली जाएगी. मैं मिनिस्टर हूँ, तो इसलिए बता रहा हूँ. So he woke him up. The guy was fully drunk. That means it was all pre-arranged. By then I got word that the procession has started. Congressmen, down in town, this, that. So I called up the army and I said, you please take few tanks and take a brigade and go to Simapur. And they reached, army reached, all these congressmen dispersed. If same thing Rajiv Gandhi had done on the very first day, the Sikh riot, anti-Sikh riot would not have taken place. I am saying today, any administration wants to stop a communal riot. It can be done if you use force. Now, I don't want to go into this question whether Mr. Akhilesh is incompetent or not. It's all right. Sometimes people have got inexperience. They are new. He's a very inexperienced person. So maybe he didn't know what to do and he had a problem with how to manage my Muslim constituency and so on. But I say that if any administration is determined, no communal riot will take place. No riot will take place. It requires a commitment of that sort. That's all.
Panchami
स्वामी जी आपको वंदन जो आपका चाह को कल इतना एक सवाल पूछना चाहता हूँ कि इंडिया गवर्नमेंट आने वाली है अपनी गवर्नमेंट तो कश्मीर का प्रश्न है जो कि वोट होना ही चाहिए क्योंकि अभी तक 4 दफे वोट हुआ अपन जीत के भी हार गए तो ये परमानेंट प्रॉब्लम शुड बी सॉल्व
हम तो मैदान में जीतते हैं पर टेबल में हार
जाते हैं तो ये अपनी करुण दशा है ना आदमी इतना बलिदान देता है वो सब व्यर्थ जाता है।
कश्मीर में पूरा हिस्सा अपना है और उसको 1 इंच नहीं छोड़ेंगे, ये हमारी कमिटमेंट है। जब कश्मीर में वहाँ लोग नहीं जाने जाते पाकिस्तान के साथ, हाँ वो कहते हैं कि हमारा हाल क्या होगा हम जानते हैं, परंतु ये कहते हैं कि आप लोग क्या करोगे। अब रोज कुछ ना कुछ टॉक्स पीस टॉक्स से कोई दिल्ली पढ़ता हूँ उनको भेज देते हो, किसी को भेज देते हो और पाकिस्तान से कश्मीर के बारे में बात। जब हमें लगेगा कि कुछ भी कीमत चुकाने के लिए भारत तैयार है और कश्मीर नहीं छोड़ेगा, उस दिन हम सब आपके साथ होंगे। वहाँ की पब्लिक ने मुझे कहा है
That person there at the last, yes.
Yes, I can hear you. I will repeat your question.
Sir, do you think we should have a truth commission set up in India House power to expose all the misdeeds
and the collaboration between the politicians, the ones who are accountable, ones who rule without accountability, media as well as the crony capitalists and their nexus. Should we set up a truth commission to expose them?
Well, I would suggest an alternative mechanism. You ask the Supreme Court to institute an inquiry and ask the CBI Enforcement Directorate to be monitored by the Supreme Court. That's a much better than a truth commission. Truth commission means all this infrastructure, everything. Supreme Court is there. If the CBI can be made to be monitored, and if the government of the day doesn't put pressure on CBI also, then I think the CBI is competent to find out all this. IB is competent. We have got all the materials with us. It's there in the government records. No file can go ever missing in the government of India. Because there are 3 copies. If one is missing, there are 2 others to get it. So therefore, all this can come out. Only thing I would like to be careful about from 1977 is that our focus should be on producing development results. This should also go on. It should not be that this is the only thing that is going on. That's why we got hurt in the Janata Party rule. They saying that all they are doing is only chasing Indira Gandhi. See, that should not come. We should be producing results on the development front, and this also should go on. And so you can be assured that I will be very interested in following this up.
There's somebody there.
Mohit Chaturvedi here. Swamiji, in 6 months, Modi ji will be our Prime Minister. In 6 months, hopefully, Swamiji will also be our Finance Minister.
Home Minister.
Maybe hope you hold both the portfolios in the interest of India. What are the 3 things that you will do yourself and suggest Modi ji reverse the mess that India is in right now? It could be economic, it could be development, it could be security wise. What are the 3 highest priority things that you would recommend and you would do, you would like to do?
If I am consultant on finance, on the current finance minister, first thing I will do is abolish income tax. Second thing is I will get an ordinance issued saying that all bank accounts in 70 countries, which engage in secret banking, like Switzerland, Liechtenstein, which engage in secret banking, all bank accounts owned by or opened by Indian citizens will be hereby nationalized, and all its deposits will be 2005 United Nations, in order to curb terrorist financing, said that if a government passes this kind of ordinance or legislation, I say ordinance because legislation means introducing bills and then having discussion and so on. We have to do that anyway. But to get started in the work, you can take ordinance and it becomes law till it is passed. If Parliament rejects it, because it ceases to be a law, but if Parliament passes the law, then you will get 1.5 trillion, that is more than 84 lakh rupees to your treasury. And those who say that our accounts have been started honestly, the money has been put from honest work, those accounts we will release and give it back. This is the second step. And the third step I would like to do, start the project on linking of rivers, because there are many rivers which are in surplus and they flood. Many rivers like Kaveri and Vaiga which are in dry or in deficit. So if you start connecting these rivers by canals, then employment generation immediately starts. Then you pass through areas which have never seen rainfall like Rayalaseema and Andhra, and finally you will never have floods in the country because the surplus water will be through the canal.
स्वामी जी प्रणाम, कैलाश पुरोहित। स्वामी जी, हम ये आपसे जानना चाहते हैं कि हिंदुस्तान में भी जो सभी कांग्रेस राज्य में और बहुत सारी जगह पे जो गो हत्या के ऊपर जो कत्ल खाने चलाने के लिए जो गवर्नमेंट परमिशन दे रही है, और हम फेसबुक के ऊपर गो हत्या के ऊपर पेज चलाते हैं, तो हम आपसे ये जानना चाहते हैं कि एनडीए सरकार आने के बाद फिर से क्या गो हत्या के ऊपर आप कुछ प्रतिबंध लगा सकते हैं, जो अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी ने एक बार संसद में एक बार प्रस्ताव पारित करने के लिए कॉल की थी।
देखिए, महात्मा गांधी ने कहा था कि मुझे जब आजादी मिलेगी तो पहला काम मैं क्या करूंगा, गौ हत्या बंद करूंगा। अब इंडियन गौ जो है, इसका अब मेडिसिनल प्रॉपर्टीज उसकी दूध को प्रूव हो गया है। मैं उसकी मूत्र इसमें नहीं जा रहा हूँ, वो भी एक अब अमेरिका में पेटेंट हो गया है, तो मैं उसमें नहीं जाता हूँ। मैं कहता हूँ इसका दूध जो से विशेष है। तो न्यूजीलैंड ने अभी तय किया कि वो भी उसको इंडियन काऊ को कहते हैं ब्राह्मण हर्ड, पता नहीं कहाँ से ब्राह्मण हो गया, और उसको ब्राह्मण हर्ड कहते हैं। तो जो ये हिंदुस्तान की जो स्पेशल गाय है ब्राह्मण हर्ड, उसको हत्या करना अपराध मानेंगे और उसके लिए हम सख्त से सख्त पनिशमेंट करेंगे। ये महात्मा गांधी का सपना, उसको पूरा जरूर करेंगे, इसमें सवाल ही नहीं। उसमें कपिल सिब्बल की बीवी का पूजा खाना भी।
Swami ji, this is Suresh Nagwa from Mumbai. There was a hit job carried out by Times of India a couple of months back, where they said development in Gujarat is hoax on the basis of per capita expenditure. Is any analysis on the basis should be on per capita expenditure or per capita income?
You see, these Times of India can publish anything. So, the moment your government comes, they will publish the heaven on earth called Gujarat. So, don't go by that. I only tell people who are Congress, go and see your Rajiv Gandhi Foundation, what they have said. See what the National Development Council report given by the Planning Commission, what they have said. So, therefore, naturally, see, they will always try to belittle whatever Modi does. It's inevitable. But I don't think anybody takes it seriously, because people go there and come back and say, I myself have been there, there's no power cut. Everywhere else you have power cuts. If you at all the electricity goes, it goes for exactly 3-4 seconds. So there are lots of changes that have taken place. And I think for India, of course, Modi will need a team, and there is plenty of talent in BJP. I've seen it. So therefore, he should not have any difficulty in replicating Gujarat in the whole of India.
Please stand up.
Hi, sir. Pratik here. Sir, my question is, so when the NDA comes to power, how do you ensure that people like Robert Vadra are brought to justice?
You don't have to worry about Robert Vadra. You see, he is very easy to catch hold of. But I will tell you that first you catch the big people. Sonia Gandhi. Then that Chidambaram. We've got all the materials ready. I'm sorry to say that they have been in power, they have misused power so much that they have escaped so far. And our media also. Look at all this BCCI, they're going on about son-in-law of Srinivasan. That fellow, it was not even an arranged marriage. He's an intercaste marriage. His daughter wanted to marry him. So how is he responsible for whatever he does? Then if he is responsible, then why Sonia Gandhi's name doesn't come and Vadra's name comes? So our media has created this kind of impression. Vadra is a symptom. If there is no Sonia Gandhi, there is no Vadra. Only thing that we have to do is use the law to get back all the loot they have taken. And that can be done by the prevention of money laundering. There is a law for that. It's called Prevention of Money Laundering Act. And 100%, that is the thing that we focus on. Of course, they will all have to spend the time in JTR for some time. And we should get it. Of course, you know, when I started doing these cases and Raja went, Kanimori went, then Marlon's name came, Chinnam's name was coming in the newspaper. So the TRJ Subramanian told me, I told a friend of mine, Swami ko bolo itara Madrasi ko na bheje. So I said, why? He said, because ये भगत बेचारा उसको आलू पूरी आता है, ये सब मसाला डोसा और इडली आता है। मैंने कहा उसको तैयार करो, अभी कोई आने वाला है जो पिज़्ज़ा और स्पैगेटी create an international dining room in India. So catch the big people, then everything will happen. The small people no use. They will automatically be okay if you catch the big people. Once the message goes, that's what America does by the way. They catch the big people. And then how many years sentence they give? 150 years. Yeah, they enrolled, they got the top man, the CEO for skilling, put a handcuff on him and paraded him on the street. So catch the big people, then all the small people will get afraid and the society will become honest.
Somebody there already at the mic.
Sir, good evening. Is there anything other than country, religion and money to bring people together?
Yes, you can bring people together for cricket.
On serious issues, as in
On serious issues. See, always listen, there are some fundamentals we can't change. Take our constitution. It says that you have freedom of speech, but subject to reasonable restrictions. See what those restrictions are? Security of the state, sovereignty of India. You don't have freedom to say India should be broken up into 20 countries. You cannot say that I will take narcotics because this is my right. If I ruin my health, who are you to tell me? See? So, we have certain boundaries. What is an Indian? What is his responsibility? We have to have that. Within that framework, we can have free discussion. But we cannot allow anything and everything. And I am saying that therefore, we have to work out in such a way. I had a discussion recently with the Saudi Arabian ambassador. So he was, because nowadays ambassadors are meeting me quite a lot thinking that they are going to power. they think I am going to become external affairs minister. But you know, it doesn't matter. They asked me, because I did take much interest in foreign relations, so they asked me what will be the Hindu-Muslim relations. I told him that when Chandrasekhar was Prime Minister, I had called the Babri Masjid Action Committee headed by Shahabuddin, who was a dear friend of mine, to tell him that listen, that masjid, you can read namaz anywhere. Masjid is not a part of Islamic religion. Masjid is a building for reading namaz. In Saudi Arabia, the Bilal Masjid where Muhammad used to read, Paighambar Muhammad used to read namaz, they demolished that also. Pakistan, they demolished masjids. So I had proposed that, we'll build you a lovely masjid somewhere else. You allow this to become heading, and then this will create huge Hindu-Muslim unity. Now, Shahabuddin agreed that if you can prove there was a temple below, I myself will go and break the Babri Masjid. But then the government fell and we couldn't do it. Now I asked the Saudi Arabian embassy, is it the fact that in your country you demolished masjids? He said yes, for building roads and things like that. He said, did you demolish Bilal Masjid also? Yes, he said, the masjid is only for reading. So I said, why can't we convince our people here, Muslims here? He said, you hold discussion, we will help you. We will issue a fatwa for you. So therefore, I only say that there are three, if you want to create Hindu-Muslim unity and bring people together, you talk about religion, I am talking about forgetting, having a healthy memory, not looking at the past. I am saying that if the Muslim and Hindu can come together and decide that Kashi Vishwanath, Ayodhya and Vrindavan, if these three Muslims agree to build a masjid somewhere else, we will help them build. Then it will create a huge Hindu-Muslim unity. But Hindus and Muslims and Christians combined, then we become a mighty force. So nobody wants that. They want division. Like Aryan, Dravidian, all kinds of things, caste. What this caste is, I want to know. Where is it said that a Brahmin is one who is born in a Brahmin family? Where is it written? In Gita it says that only gunas count. I want to know if it was true. Then how is it that Veda Vyasa became a Maharishi, that is equal to a Brahmin? His mother was a fisherwoman. What about Kalidasa? He was cutting wood in the tree, of the trees in the forest. He became a Maharishi and big poet. What about Vishwamitra? Rishi of Rishis. Even the gods were afraid of him. And he was born in a Kshatriya family. And Valmiki is considered born in Dalit family. And he wrote the Ramayana, like Vedvyasa wrote the Mahabharata. Where is it written? Ravan was a Brahmin, but he was killed. The Brahmins didn't say, oh, this Ramchandra ji, Kshatriya, he killed our Brahmin. Never. It was all discipline. Discipline means the Brahmin must be for education, he must not have property, he must not have wealth, he should not have land. That is a Brahmin. And he will be respected as the highest. And that anybody can be if he follows that discipline. So this is the same thing Kshatriya. Kshatriyas became Rajas, but they could not make policy. In Europe, the king used to make the policy, whether to go to war or not. But in our system, Hindu system, the king had to ask the advice of the Brahmin. Only if he got the sanction of the Brahmin, he could declare war or take any. The law and justice was with the Brahmins, it was not with the kings, unlike other countries. So, therefore, all these divisions, you see, we must go now, we must not say, now we cannot repair this Varna system, you see this guy. You just say you are Hindu and nothing else. And for marriage, if you want, you can do. Even that I am not fair. By the way, marriage also, let me tell you, modern scientific evidence says that if you marry as farther away from your family, the better are the children. If you marry your sister and have children, they will all become demented, like the pharaohs. They married in Egypt. They married their brothers and sisters to the same property, and they all became cripples, this, that, and the ruin. The closer you marry, the worse are the children, genetically. The further you marry. So therefore, now we should all regard ourselves as Indians and of this country, and accordingly be that way. Huh? No, you see, in case of Italian, you see, there is some modification we have to make. Because I am talking about within the Indian system. If you import kachara, you will have kachara.
Somebody got the mic here.
Namaste Swamiji, myself Dr. Prasanna Lod from JJ Hospital. I have a question here. You mentioned in your speech that rejection of Article 370. So that's a very good thing. But sir, on more serious note, what can be done for implementing, enforcing uniform civil code? Because in government hospitals we are seeing Hindu couples are following the planning, family planning with Hum Do Hamare Do, and Muslim couple comes with a family history of 15th pregnancy, 20th pregnancy. This population exclusion can, sir, is it possible that these personal law boards resort, and if yes, how? How can we implement uniform civil code?
Of course, you answer one question. First, you answer one question. Why is it, according to census data, the average family size of a Muslim in Kerala is less than the average family size of a Hindu in UP? Did you know that? Yes. The average family size, that is the number of children a Hindu has in UP, is more than the number of children a Muslim has in Kerala. Okay? Yes, education, economic prosperity, etc. The same thing with Tamil Muslims also. They have average less children than, say, Hindus of Bihar. So, and then rich Hindus have fewer children than poor Hindus. Rich Muslims also have fewer children than poor Muslims. So one factor is that has to be rectified, and it has to be rectified not by reservation. I am against reservation for anybody except those members of our society on whom there was an imposition of disabilities. That only scheduled caste, scheduled tribe. Not Yadava, not Jat. Why? Not Muslim, not Christian, not Brahmin, not Kshatriya. Why? Because they are all ruling classes. How can you give reservation to ruling class? Okay, they are poor, give scholarship, give tuition, but no reservation. Reservation should be if society has suppressed somebody. And the scheduled class was suppressed. Tribals were suppressed. So we will make someone. But there also, if one family gets it once, they should not get it second time. Because DNA wise we are all the same. So if you get the same training, if you get the same option, there should be no difference. So that I would say I am totally in favor of uniform civil code. And I asked the Muslim this question. Why in Australia you are agreeing to uniform civil code? Why you agree to uniform civil code in America? Why you don't agree in India? Because in Australia they say that you have to have full stop. Tomorrow you have uniform civil code, I am telling you, except the mullahs, all the Muslims will agree. They say we have no problem. So within the framework of allowing their marriage rights and all that, that should be separate. But in terms of how many wives you have and all that, that should be uniform. And it should be strictly implemented. I know many Hindu leaders who have 2-3 wives. Karnataka has got 3 wives. So, and in Tamil Nadu it has become status symbol to have Chinna Veedu. You know what Chinna Veedu means? Small house. They have a big house, that is your official wife, and then you have a small house. And status symbol is, I have 3 cars, 1 Audi, 1 Mercedes, and I have 1 Chinna Veedu. So, that has to change. We must have one law for everybody. But the way of doing it is not by forcing, but by bringing members of the community and convincing them and making it clear that we are going to do it. But how to do it is something we can discuss.
Next question here.
राष्ट्र हितैषी पंडित डॉक्टर स्वामी जी को मैं प्रणाम करता हूँ। मुझे कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछ रहा स्वामी जी, आपने एक रचनात्मक बात कही है और मैं मनोज भाई मेहता जी से, मेरा नाम मनोज भाई, आपसे विद्रोही बोल रहा हूँ, श्रीनिवास तिवारी विद्रोही साकीनागा से। मैं बहुत बच्चा था तो गणेश नारायण के पिताजी नारायण नारायण आदरणीय जो स्वर्गीय हो चुके हैं, मैं आपको देखता था। आज मैंने जब थोड़ा सा बड़ा ऐसा लगता है, मैं उम्र में बड़ा हुआ था, आपको मैंने सुना सर मैं मनोज भाई से बात हुई थी, मैंने कहा कि स्वामी जी को मैं एक बार मिलना चाहता हूँ। आज दोपहर फोना में बहुत दूर था, भागते भागते आपके दर्शनों में सर इसी रचनात्मक कार्य के लिए स्वामी जी में, चूंकि मैं उत्तर प्रदेश पूर्वांचल से हूँ, मनोज भाई के माध्यम से मैं एक कार्यक्रम चाहता हूँ जो जब आपकी इच्छा करो।
पूर्व उत्तर प्रदेश
वो जौनपुर सिटी में।
जौनपुर मूली दोगे? इतना बड़ा मूली है मूली जो जौनपुर में इतना बड़ा है।
जी सर।
I have never seen मूली like this anywhere.
क्योंकि सर आपसे मैं ज्यादा बोल रहा हूँ, 1 सेकंड चाहूंगा कि जब आप बोलते हैं तो पूरा देश बोलता, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है। जब हमारे डॉक्टर स्वामी जी बोलते हैं तो सोनिया गांधी कुर्सी हिलने लगती है। सुना है आपके लिए सर एक शेर है, इसके बाद में मनोज भाई के माध्यम से आपसे आगे बढ़िए। सुना है शहर में आपके दुश्मन है ज्यादा, लगता है आप आदमी अच्छे होंगे।
Yeah, please carry on.
Sir,
Give your name, please.
My name is Dilip Aloni, and I am asking you about NCP party's corruption in Maharashtra.
Yeah.
They have done a corruption of almost 70,000 crores in irrigation, and work of almost 75,000 crores is already given. So the corruption is almost 1.50 lakh crores. Now the 2G scam was for 1.76 lakh crores. So for a small section of India, that is Maharashtra, this scam is enormous.
Yes.
Mohan Tavade has taken that subject.
Yes.
Then Kirit Somaiya has fought in the High Court, but nothing is happening. Not a single criminal investigation has been started on that subject. So my request to you is that a giant killer like you should take this subject in hand. Sir, 1 minute. Because why I am saying that NCP is using that enormous financial muscle to buy votes, and unless we can stop it, it is very dangerous.
Yeah, I agree with you. The only thing is that while agreeing with you, I'd like you to go into Siddhi Vinayak temple and pray that the number of hours in my day should be increased from 24 to 48. I literally, you don't know what kind of schedule I am got. Just barely enough time to sleep. So, I don't think this matter I can take up till we have a government where the machinery of the government is available to me. Because right now I have no machinery. I have to do everything myself. So, and based on friendship and all. So if you have the machinery, don't worry, Mr. Pawar will not escape. And all his money will have to come to the church.
Swamiji Pranam.
Yeah.
This is Ramesh Shetty from Palghar.
Yes.
My question is there, do you have some specific strategic planning towards the duplicate votes generated by Congress all these years in the country? Do you, BJP has some strategic planning? Because before going to 2014,
yes,
we need to have strategic
sure,
planning.
I'll tell you what. There was the problem, the bigger problem with Congress was the misuse of the electronic voting machine. This is the electronic voting machine. The main brain of the electronic machine is something called a microcontroller, which is embedded there in the program. That decides who will get how much, the totaling, everything is done by that brain. This is not produced in India. It is produced in Japan. When I inquired in Japan, they told me that this, yes, one of our private companies is producing. When I asked them, do you use it in the electronic voting machine of Japan? They said, we are not mad. We don't use electronic voting machine, we use ballot paper. So I was surprised. I said, why? He said, because it is very easy to rig an electronic voting machine with a mobile phone. And they demonstrated it to me, who will get how much vote. Then I started checking. England, does it have electronic voting machine? No. Germany? No. Netherlands? No. Ireland? No. Even Italy does not have. See? So, no country has except Nigeria, India and Venezuela. Now, then I went to the Supreme Court, filed a case, and I proved that electronic voting machines can be rigged. And so the court said, don't ask us to give up the machine, you tell us modification. So I have suggested